Episode 3449, Happiness Lies in Your Actions.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. Are you ready to dust off all the fireworks? Oh yes, it was a magnificent day, but today is Confessions and Upset Mama. Maybe we need to have our own fireworks here today. Happiness lies in your actions. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted to have your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the K.I.S.S newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. You know, as parents, we often forget what it's like to be a kid. Who wants to be told what to do all the time? Maybe you had that struggle with the fireworks this year. Well, raise your kids with a smile in your heart by showing them that happiness lies in your actions. I mean, seriously, think about what it means to be happy, but in your happiness, it comes from what you do. Because there's nothing better than being a role model for our children. Nothing. The more they see, the more they imitate. So are they watching you? Is it good or bad? It just depends, right, on what they see. How do you model it? And as parents, the way we behave and carry ourselves significantly influences the behavior and outlook of our children. And you kind of wonder sometimes why kids act the way they do. Just look in the privacy of their own four walls. What's happening at home? What's happening in their everyday? What's happening where they feel most comfortable? Because it's easy to get caught up in the chaos of life and forget that our actions speak louder than words. So you may be frustrated. You may have had a long day at work. You may have enjoyed the fireworks way too late, and now you got to get up early, and then you're kind of crabby and fussy. Been there, done that. Maybe you're on vacation and you think, oh, this is going to be so much fun. And all of a sudden everybody's fussy. So then you get a little fussier. And then you talk to other people who are strangers and you get fussy at them. What is that showing your kids? I don't care how old your kids are. Your kids can be 32, 42, 52. Your kids could also be 2 months old, 2 years old. 12 years old. Instead of constantly instructing our children on how to behave, why not lead by example and show them that true happiness lies in our actions? That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Lead by example. I can't hammer it home enough. Kiddos are watching you. They're listening to what you say, how you say it. They're listening to your tone of voice because when they hit that four-letter word that you thought they never would pick up on, whether you say it or whether they hear someone, like maybe you're watching a reel and you watch them over and over and over again, because guess what keeps showing up in your feed? The same stuff that you like to watch, right? That's what it feeds you, right? So there's going to be the language in there. And then all of a sudden, your child knows exactly how to use that four-letter word. And it's like, what? Where did this come from? It's because they are watching, because you're leading. And I think we forget how important, how impressionable our children are. In our day and age, honestly, we need to be even more on the alert, more on the awareness of going, okay, what am I doing? Am I really doing something that I want repeated? I know as a grandma, I really thought about it when I was a mom. I really did. I homeschooled my kids and I wasn't that homeschool mom. Okay, I know homeschoolers get kind of a bad rap, but let me tell you, there are some incredible parents out there that raise some incredible kids that are being homeschooled. And I'll tell you this, my children got off to a great start because we chose to homeschool. It was good for them. And in fact, they tell me that now that they're older. They're like, Mom, I really hope that I can do this for my children. And I love that. But you see, one thing I did is I really did try to make sure that what I modeled, what I did is what I wanted repeated. Now, I can tell you there are some things I did that I really didn't want repeated. And I learned that a little bit later in life. We won't go into those details, but it is confession day, so I'll give you a quick little hint. part of it was my anger, not because I was a mean, mad person all the time. It was more so I was frustrated with the world because I had to do everything else that nobody else would want to do. Basically, that's just kind of summing it up quickly. But you see, we let everything hang out because we're comfortable within our own four walls. That's why I say, what's happening with your child? Because whatever's modeled in your own four walls, the privacy of your home, that's what they see. And so when they go out and you're not around, that's how they're acting out. Because that's what they're used to. And so I really had to be careful. So are you leading by example? What you do you want repeated? And you know what? That is a great thing to ask yourself before you all of a sudden let it all hang out and you just want to go after your spouse. You want to go after somebody on the phone. You want to yell at the TV. Even if you're watching a football game, I mean, you know what? Can I just tell you, football is around the corner. Now, I am enjoying some good tennis right now because Wimbledon is happening, right? The championships. Oh, yes, it is fabulous. Have you watched it? Well, if you haven't, I think we're on the 5th day now. And so it is great. And I couldn't remember the schedule. I didn't think we were going to have it until after the Olympics, but the Olympics come slightly after that. I mean, are you not excited? But I look at what happens. And even if you're a sports fanatic, right? I love football, college, NFL. I mean, I'm all over it. And I can kind of yell at the TV, but you know what? I'm not yelling profanity. That's just not my type. And no judgment here. I'm just telling you I don't. But I can tell you this. When my grandson, because he was raised around his grandmother a little bit too much around football, you can hear it in his voice when he's at the TV doing the same thing. Why? Because he heard his grandma do it. Now, luckily, I led well, so that's a good thing. But what I'm saying here is that sometimes we don't even know that the little things are being watched. Yes, it matters. So how do you really begin to model the behavior you want to see in your children? Number 1, smile more than you complain. It all comes down to how you practice gratitude, right? Yeah, we got the junk in life. We got the CRAP that we don't like, right? The circumstances, the rejections, we've got the adversities and the problems. It's the CRAP of life, and I get it. We don't like it. We've got bills to pay. We've got hot heat outside, at least in our area we do. Man, it was so hot, like we were way over 100. I'm like, woo, get off this pavement. And you know, with all of that, though, you still got to smile more than you complain because life is not ever going to be easy. Because let me tell you this, if it is, beware, because there is a hurricane around the corner. A storm is a brewing if you feel like you have life and it's going too easy. I'm serious. Because if you're not in a mess, you're coming out of a mess. So it's just kind of this, centripetal force, I guess you would call it. So practice gratitude. Teach your children the importance of gratitude. How do you respond to people? Yeah, you know what? I'm having issues with my air conditioner, but you know what? At least we have a great roof over our head. Most of the time, it's cool. We can figure a way to keep it cool. We have fans to use. At least we have electricity, right? There's a positive twist that you can put on it. When you show appreciation for the little things, your children will learn to do the same. And that means when you get older too. Just because you age doesn't mean you have to be a grumpy person. Yeah, I don't want to be grumpy, and neither should you. So what if you were to say thank you to that barista at the coffee shop? Or just as you're watching the beautiful sunset, maybe when you were watching fireworks, maybe you're going to see more fireworks later on this weekend. I know fireworks kind of go through the weekend. It's a big celebration. Well, maybe you express gratitude of, man, we have this freedom. We are so blessed to have it. I'm grateful that I can stand here and celebrate it. I'm grateful. Your kids are hearing that, right? Maybe it's when you take a walk on the beach. Maybe it's when you're holding their hand. Maybe it's when you're saying your bedtime prayers at night. But you got to practice gratitude yourself so then it can be modeled to your kiddos. A lot of times our hearts are hardened, and that isn't going to help us at all show gratitude. So smile more than you complain, because really, you know what? Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Number 2, be kind in spite of. With everything that happens, right? Let's go back to the CRAP of life. We've got bills to pay, responsibilities. We're tired. We don't get rest. We don't get enough sleep. We don't eat properly. It just seems like we're tapping into our savings more and prices are going up. It's like, I can't do it. Be kind in spite of. Maybe somebody cuts you off. Pray for them instead, right? When you're driving in traffic, someone cuts you off. It's like, Lord, I don't know what they're going through, but I pray you give them strength. I mean, that sounds kind of strange. Now, I want you to do it genuinely. Don't do it as if it's kind of like, tongue in cheek type of thing. No. I'm talking genuine because your kids can see right through it, believe it or not. So be kind in spite of. Whether it's helping a neighbor with their groceries or volunteering at a local charity, when you demonstrate acts of kindness, it teaches children the value of compassion and empathy. You got to show it regardless. You may not like it. You may not like it that your spouse has got a crazy schedule right now. Maybe they're going to school, going back to get their degree. Maybe they're trying to, work too, and they've got other things happening. And then you got your kiddos, and you're like, oh, you know what? Now I'm having to do everything. How unfair is this? Really? Be kind in spite of. Step up to the plate. Simple gestures like holding the door open for someone or offering a smile to a stranger can make a big impact. But are you willing to do that? Are you willing to think before you react? Because if you are maturing, listen here, if you are maturing, that means you want to make a calculated response and not react. There is a difference. Kindness is free. Sprinkle that stuff everywhere, right? It's like this dust, right? This sparkly dust that you can have. Why not give it away free? And finally, number 3, love yourself so you can love others. Do you really love the person you see in the mirror? Now, I've been a little stressed. In fact, I was talking to my son, my one of 3, the other day, and I said, you know what? Last week was the first week I had been home for 7 days straight since Christmas. And he looked at me. Of course, he was driving. And he's like, what? And I said, yes. I said, it dawned on me. I think it was like Monday, that following Monday. And I was like, yeah, can you believe it? He goes, no, I cannot, Mom. You really have not been home for 7 days straight? I'm like, no. In fact, I've been gone more than I've been home. I said, and you wonder how crazy I am. I said, and I didn't have anybody else to take care of. I just needed to take care of me. And I said, I haven't had that at all. Sometimes we've got to look at how we care for ourselves so we can care for others. Luckily, I was in a really good place that I could care for others because that was a season I was in. I was needed 24/7, all hands on deck. I needed to be out of my home. Lots of circumstances. And I've shared some of that along the way. And you may have walked that journey with me. But it was challenging. And it wasn't but literally about a week or so ago that it changed a little bit. It's not 100% gone. So now that I'm home, guess what? Renovations are starting. We're remodeling part of our house. Oh, yes. They already warned me. They said, Mrs. Wargo, just so you know, it's going to get a little loud. And I was like, that's okay. Bring it on. That means I know that when I hear something, something's going to be done. And we're going to get to the finish line. But you see, I couldn't do that. And I couldn't give what I needed to give if I didn't love myself in the mirror. Now, let me say this. I am nowhere where I want to be when it comes to my health, my weight. I'm working on some things. I want to work on my strength and my conditioning. I'm really working on my gut. Like there are some things I'm really, really working on. And then I'm working on stuff with Create Your Now, building out some things literally from scratch. I cannot wait to share all of it with you. I'm so excited. But I got to kind of go through digging it out and kind of going through the trenches to get it all working. And it's hard because I don't have all the answers, which means it delays things. But because I'm okay by who I see in the mirror, I can serve others better because I love myself where I'm at. That doesn't mean I'm going to stay where I'm at, but I can love myself. A lot of times what happens is we don't like who we see in the mirror. In fact, we don't even love who we see in the mirror. And so when we're asked to give to others, it's hard for us too. So practice